Here's where the fun started in 1973. Dr. Laurent Picard, I think that's how we pronounce his name, the first thing that was ever observed with the GHK copper peptide is they took old, worn out liver cells, I think it was from mice, and they exposed it to GHK copper peptide, and those old cells started to produce proteins like younger cells did. That's how the whole thing started. So the more scientists looked at it, the more they came to understand its specific but very unusual properties. And here are some of the things. It naturally occurs in our blood, in our saliva, in our urine. Remember this piece right here, it'll help you. Levels of GHK decline by about 60% by the time we're 60 years old. 60-60, just remember that. 60% by the time you're 60 years old. It has been proven to exhibit antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, regenerative, and wound healing actions. Now, let's talk about upregulate, downregulate, pleiotropic, all these science words. Just remember, upregulate, you got to make something do something that it's not doing. Downregulate, you have to stop it from doing something because you don't want it to just keep going and going and going. So our genes have to be upregulated or downregulated, on or off. The pleiotropic that's what they're talking about, the GHK. What happens is multiple genes don't just affect one thing. You'll turn one gene on and it actually affects other genes' ability to work. So you see this domino effect. So here's a little diagram that the next one that I designed. Here it is right here. Here's gene number 1. So if we turn that one on, it has this effect on the body. Let's say that this is growing hair, but it also affects gene number 2. This might be turning hair brown. Gene number 2 affects what it's supposed to, but it also then affects gene number 3's ability to do its job. And here it is right here. Look over on the left, normal genes, normal gene expression. Now remember, each gene has 2,600 different expressions. You used to think you have a gene, it's for this, and that's what you get, that's what you're born with, but it's not. Genes can be affected by thoughts, by diet, by EMFs, all kinds of things. So we get damage to our genes right here, and then our genes are altered, which then give an altered expression. In comes the GHK copper peptide right here. The body uses it to fix the genes, and then they get reset to a normal, younger, healthy expression, gives a younger you. Here's what it does. It adjusts the body, and this is what scientists have found out over a long period of time. They think that the GHK developed as a quick way to help humans and animals adapt to something that's happening in their environment. Like all of a sudden it got really, really cold, and our bodies were still used to having warmer weather. It makes such changes on the gene expression that we're able to tolerate that. Pregnancy, growth, starvation, infections, aggression, be able to fight off animal attacks. It happens so quickly with our genes, turning them on or off, it helps us adapt to the environment. Here it is. The GHK copper peptide affects up to 4,200 of our 21,000 genes. So this is why we get such a wide action on so many different processes in the body. It stimulates. This is very, very important for those of us who have scars. 3 weeks ago yesterday, I had knee replacement surgery, and the way the X39 is making that incision site. The only thing I could compare this to is, the Wicked Witch of the West, and I'm melting, and she just kind of goes down into nothing. The big old scar at the incision site it's almost like it's just morphing into normal skin. It's truly incredible. I've been taking pictures. I'll share that when it's done. But it stimulates both synthesis and breakdown of collagen. Well, why would you want to break down collagen? Well, normal skin, normal collagen is like a wall, and scar tissue is just like a pile of bricks haphazardly stuck together. So we have these cross linkages like this in scar tissue where normal collagen is flexible. And I'd like to mention at this time, if you have scars that are in the midline or that cross the midline, you really need to work on those because they can create what's called interference fields in the body's electricity. They can cause anything from pain to a hormone dysregulation problem because the body is trying to communicate, and there's like 100 billion impulses going between the brain and the body and the brain and the body per second. And if there's this blockage, the brain never receives information back. Did you do what I told you to do? I told you to do this. Did you do it? No, it just keeps doing it. It just keeps, whatever it's doing, it keeps sending out a message, make more of this or do this. So very important to get those scars, and the X39 is excellent for smoothing scar tissue out. All right, wound healing increases blood vessel. This is all from research, and I've kind of compiled stuff from different papers and things so that I can just give you the key points. But I found this one paper accelerates wound healing and increases blood vessel formation and increases the level of antioxidant enzymes. So when you give somebody an X39, any of these things that we're talking about right now can happen in their body relatively quickly. Okay, in 2001, this group right here established that the GHK copper restored replicated vitality to fibroblasts from patients after anti-cancer radiation therapy, which that damages cellular DNA. So it was able to fix those fibroblasts that make collagen so that they could start making normal collagen again, rather than having the damaged, very brittle, very non-flexible collagen that forms after that. It altered the expression of human genes important in neuron function by 50%. And when they say plus or minus, remember that upregulation and downregulation, the body has to be able to say do more or do less. And sometimes we actually even have to destroy neurons in the brain that we don't need anymore. We form better pathways, and the brain has to say, okay, kill those guys. I don't need those guys anymore. So that would be, ending that or building more neurons. So this was a study where they actually injected the GHK copper peptide into the skin around damaged spinal segments. And what it does, it's used now for treating damaged spinal segments. And they found that it helped repair the discs in the spinal segments. And one of the things that the GHK copper peptide does, which really interested me, was it increases stem cell production in the skin. Excuse me. Increase the healing of many tissues: skin, stomach, intestine lining, bone tissue. Increase hair growth and thickness, and I can tell you personal experience, it can make it turn back to the color it used to be. It enlarged the hair follicle size. Fibrinogen, don't get confused by this, but the level of fibrinogen is the top predictor of cardiovascular or heart disease. So we get these deposits inside of our arteries of that stuff, and it reduced fibrinogen synthesis. So then the result would be fewer deposits in our arteries. It was the top recommended bioactive compound by this institute, this computer model. It was the top recommended molecule for treatment of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. It restored healthy function in COPD-affected cells. Topped, same institute, 1,309 bioactive compounds as the most recommended molecule for the treatment of human metastatic colon cancer. We have a GAPS practitioner in our office, and I just spoke to her 2 days ago, and she told me she's been working with this one client for a long time, and she started using X39. They were struggling for several years with Crohn's, with ulcerative colitis. And they added the X39 to it, bam, healed it up, and now she's incorporated that into all of her clients she helps with the GAPS diet. She gets them on the X39. This is something that I've talked a lot about in my Wednesday night trainings, is apoptosis. And I have a slide after this, so we'll talk about it a little bit. Apoptosis is programmed cellular death, that our body goes around and has a search and destroy team, and cells get targeted for destruction because they're old and they need to be replaced. 50 to 70 billion cells a year are actually intentionally killed through the process of apoptosis. And what the GHK copper peptide did is that reset the programmed cellular death system in human cancer cells. So if you can imagine, normal cells, if when we get together in a year, there's not one cell in your body that will be the same one that exists and lives today except our nerve cells. They're not killed off. But every other cell, your liver will be totally recycled, your skin, your bones, every cell will be destroyed and rebuilt within a year. But think about cancer cells. They just keep multiplying, and there's nothing that goes around and your body says, hey, there's too many of those, kill those, or those are sick and dying, kill those. So the GHK copper peptide actually reset the programmed cellular death in human cancer cells. It happened to be human neuroblastoma, leukemia, and breast cancer, but did not affect healthy cells. Here's a slide on apoptosis. Programmed cellular death. 50 to 70 billion cells a day are destroyed and replaced. Just a little side note right here. When somebody who's had a really poor diet all of a sudden starts to eat organic, real food, not stuff out of a bag in a box, the body in all of its infinite wisdom says, wow, I have all this good nutrition now. I can build better cells. I'm going to kill off maybe 100 billion today because I can rebuild them. I have enough nutrition. This is why some people go through a rapid detox. They feel stagnant. They feel, kind of fluish, or like they have a cold or something shortly after starting to use the X39. Tell them not to get discouraged by that. Drink more water, use the glutathione patch. We got to help the body get rid of all that stuff, all the debris of what it just killed off. So that will help you understand a little bit about that apoptosis. The NF-κB P65 is believed to promote cancer growth. The GHK in this study that was done inhibited the production of the NF-κB P65. You don't have to remember all that stuff. Just say that GHK inhibits a substance that's believed to promote cancer growth. That's all. Make it really simple. Reset 84 of our genes to growth inhibition or cancer inhibition. caused adult mesenchymal stem cells to produce more growth factors and increase stem cell differentiation. That's what it's all about. We can go through all of this other stuff, which we have, and still it comes down to, we're talking about increasing your stem cells, your stem cell production. But all of those other things are side benefits, and all of them can occur by increasing the GHK copper peptide in the bloodstream. How can GHK have such a diverse action, such as healing, anti-cancer, anti-anxiety, COPD, cell repair, etc.? During the course of human development, various genes became associated with various peptides, proteins, and RNA molecules that modulate or regulate their expression for optimal animal survival. This is from a paper that was written. So they were asking questions about why can it have such a wide effect? And it was during human development, you needed something really quick to adapt to different situations. And that's where I think that's where that GHK copper peptide developed.